Hey, my name's Eric. I'm making animated faces that you can talk to. I like to start each stream with a demo of work recently completed. This stream is no exception. I'm going to go right to my demo. I'm going to show you what we got done yesterday, basically. Alright, so there is this area here where you enter in information about what characters will say. You could think of it like a script. And in fact, it's following loosely screenplay format, which people use, actors use to record lines, give performances. That's not an accident, because this is tightly coupled, the whole design of this web app, to having voice actors eventually provide audio for the lines. So there's this display of all this stuff here. And you can click on one of these guys, one of these lines, double click, and it brings up a dialogue. And if you make changes to like the name of the character, it'll say a different character there. Actually, I've never tried that before. I'll try it here for the first time. Let's say there's another person called Carla, and say she's Jerry's sidekick. She says, "Can you just hold the bag for him?" So she'll work on you along with Jerry, and then she'll be, what emotion will she have? She'll be irritated. Okay, and I'll update that. Let's see what happens. All right, so now it put a new character name here for Carla. It showed that she was irritated, and then it started again with Jerry underneath. And there's a number of lines that Jerry all speaks. I put this little heading at the top here that says Jerry, if it's the start of Jerry speaking, right? So it will be possible in the full scene view, after it's coded up, to have more than one character in a scene. And the script that's provided can say that Carla's going to say something, and we'll have one head for Carla, perhaps, and then Jerry will say something, and then he'll speak. But in terms of the script, it doesn't have to think that there's two people there. It only has to kind of give a direction to how the speech will be expressed, which talking head is going to speak it. So it's pretty easy to have an interactive conversation with more than one character using this approach. All right, so today I'm going to continue making this screen more powerful, and specifically the editing of the lines here. Because one of the things about this dialogue is it's supposed to be interactive. And there is, in the data structures underlying it, there's already some stuff there to track individual replies made by a player in response to a line. So each line can have 0, 1, or lots and lots and lots of potential replies that the player might make. And when I say replies, I mean spoken replies with speech recognition. The player can say something, will match against some known key phrases, and if the player says something that matches against one of those keyframes, then it will trigger additional dialogue by the main character that's speaking. Okay, so that's what I'm working on today. I don't think I'm going to get all of that in. What I do plan to get is the UI for entering in that information. Now, it may not hook up all the way to update like the text here so it displays it. There's actually a fair amount of UI work to do there. But I think I can get all of the extra form fields and stuff here inside of this dialog, and that won't be too hard. I'm also on this session, and for the foreseeable future, just using ChatGPT to help me code. And it's weird. Anyways, and I'm trying to use it not as like a toy to show people, ooh, look what ChatGPT can do. It's just there as like a practical addition to the work I'm already doing. My main focus is getting the work done. I think I've already reached a point pretty quickly, even on the first day, where it was a net win for me to use. I said ChatGPT, I meant to say Copilot, which is based on ChatGPT. So on the first day, I was like, yeah, this makes my coding life better. And on the second day, I'm like, no, this is very clearly a thing I want. And, you know, I think it's just going to continue for a while that I'll just like it and like it more and get better at using it and have productivity gains from it. All right. So let's get going. Okay, I am noting that the emotion selector seems like it seems like it needs a little spacing to it. Does selector have a class name you can pass in? You know what? I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm not going to mess with the cosmetics of that. Let's keep going. I'm going to do what I just got done saying that I was going to do. I've only got an hour and a half to do it, so no time to mess around. This is a large enough set of changes that I'm going to do a pocket design first. And it might make it a little bit better if I take this and put it inside of Scratch. And I'm curious if ChatGPT is going to try to suggest what I type next in a pure text document. Okay, requirements. Each reply has matching criteria, yeah, and a line to say, which includes not a reply, it includes character, emotion, dialogue. Let me briefly look at how I did it in another web app already, so I'm not thinking about this harder than I need to. We'll come over to this project called Conversations. npm run start. Go, do it. Yes, I would like to use another port. I think you're a working web app. I don't think there's any issues, but I could be wrong. Oh, yeah, you gotta put in the right URL for the base name. Okay. Okay, so this is like the same conversation, and the way I did it here. Okay, similarly, I have this like so. but then I put the replies in a separate bit of UI. This is actually pretty good. Question is, do I want to split the UI like I have in this web app and have a separate dialog for editing each reply? I think probably I do. Yeah, now that I see like the complexity of the dialogue, it feels like I almost have to go with a new dialogue for each reply. Otherwise, I'd have this weird little table at the bottom, and there'd be like one column per each of these, plus one more for emotion. Yeah, okay. Okay, so if that's the case, then I will need some kind of UI that lets me add a reply. On this one, I've got this little icon here. It says add a new reply, right? Or I can double click an existing reply. Yeah. Okay, I do like the design of this screen though. This when reply matches character says, bam, like that. All right. So I feel pretty confident. I don't need to do a lot more design. I need to just make this new dialogue. So let's get going with that. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about right now the full design. It's more UI design that I need to figure out, and that's figured. So let's come back to Spiel screen. And not file dialogues, not panes, Spiel dialogues. Edit Spiel node dialog. I'm just going to copy all this because there will be similarities. And then add a new file here. Edit reply dialog. I was pausing there thinking, like, do I want to be more specific? Should it be a Spiel node reply dialog? And it's like, no, just that's enough. Okay, paste this. Okay, so I'll just go through this. And just delete or modify each thing that I know needs to change. I'll follow the same pattern because I know it works. Okay, so it's dialogue, character, emotion, but also it's matching text. Yeah. Good job, Copilot. Okay, then let's see, const. What is it? Matching. No, here. Let's see. Const reply. No, not that. There. Okay, return new spiel reply. Tell me what you're expecting, please. Thank you. Matching text array, and I do need to create a line. Okay. So this is going to be new spiel line, character, dialogue array, spiel motion. I'm feeling like yeah. Okay. So I think I may have not ChatGPT, I mean kind of, but Copilot recommending syntax which doesn't actually match. So I get a little bit complacent perhaps in accepting what it's promoting at me. And I just need to go and take a look and see what the actual signature is. There's spiel line. I also need to look at spiel reply. No, spiel line I've got. Spiel reply. Okay, so it's line, then match criteria. So Copilot reversed the order, which is not a firing offense at all, but I must note, it did not save me time in that instance. And if I just reverse the order of these, matching text array, and then just to be a little more brief, let's be match text array. Okay, so just going through this code that was for a different dialogue and making sure that everything in it applies to the new dialogue. Okay, so this is going to be original reply instead of node because we're editing a reply. Character, that seems all fine. Okay. This is the initialization. Every time the dialog opens, we set the useState variables. Okay, I will need another one though. I'll need it for matching text. And this one is not an emotion, it is a string. Okay, so here I want to do set matching text. Yeah, it basically is it's close. It's close. Match criteria. It does. It makes me think I should be consistent. Why do I keep on calling this different things? Just call it one thing, and it'll be easier to maintain down the road. Okay. Match criteria. Set match criteria. What is the match criteria? It is the rules for how we recognize when the player has spoken some words that should go to a certain reply. So we will end up using speech recognition, and we'll get a set of raw text that the player utters, and we'll look through it for certain keywords to trigger interactive directions in the story. Okay, so this is create reply to submit, and it's going to pass an extra variable. Whoops, typoed the E. Emotion. Match criteria. That's the one. Oh, what? Emotion. Hold on. Oh, I got the order wrong. Okay, cool. Let's bring it back to here. Okay, this is going to be edit reply. This is going to be motion selector. Okay, and then I'd like my labels I had over here. I want to this is an old app, and I want to reuse this same style in the new form. So this flows pretty well. You say when reply matches this, that's the match criteria. Character, Jerry says. So it's like you have a little story here, and it ties the elements together, gives some meaning to what you're typing in. So when reply matches, character says. Okay, I think I finished that dialogue. That's not hooked up to anything, so that will be the next thing for me to figure out. I can't even test out my new dialogue yet because it's not hooked up to anything. I am writing a lot of this code here, where this ought to be refactored. I'm going to do that now before it grows into something gross. Question is, where do I want to put it? I think it goes under Spiel screen. Let's put it under what? Interactions? No, Spiel dialogues. Yeah, interactions. Why not? Okay, add TypeScript file. We'll call it Spiel formatting util. Okay. Text array to. Geez, yeah, it's making some nice predictions. Text array to text. So that would be text array join, and then I wanted to use this kind of thing. And then if you go the opposite direction, I'll show how this works in a bit. Text to text array. do? Okay, Copilot, your moment to shine. Close. That's the first part of it. And what's the second part? In fact, I'll help you out a little bit. I'll give you a clue. Come on. No? You gonna give me something? No? Okay. So that is an example of Copilot slowing me down a slight amount while I wait for it to do something useful for me. But I should say there were like 3 other times where it popped this extra bit here in. And how would it know? How would it know? That's the interesting thing. Because there's not like enough general information out on the internet to just know that, like, when we say we're going to have text and we're going to split it into an array, that it'll be this separator, that I want to be permissive of whether the user puts these spaces here or not. So therefore, you know, add this extra little bit to normalize it. Yeah, it's getting it from past code I've written. So it's actually looking at like the tens of thousands of lines of code I've written on this project and saying, okay, this matches your patterns, which is more valuable to me than matching the patterns of, you know, all those other programmers and coders out there. So let's use this. Let's do a little bit of refactoring back on the dialog. So this is going to be text to text array. We're going to pass in dialog. Get rid of this. This is going to be the same thing with the match criteria. So inside of the data structure, it's stored as an array, but it's very convenient to allow the user to just put these separators in here as they type. That's the basis of those 2 operations. If I didn't do those little separators that the user can type in, I have to figure out some more complex UI to let the user say, no, add one more thing. No, add another thing. Oh, delete that thing I didn't like. It's just simpler to just let the user put separators in. Okay, there's at least, 4 other places to do this fix. And this is going to be the text array to text, and we'll take the original value here and just pop it in like that. And again, text array to text. Okay. Okay. Get rid of the unused imports. Just tidy that up a bit. These imports are declared in kind of a different way. So I want to follow my pattern above so that I can maintain these as they get super lengthy. Okay. Almost. Yeah, okay. So since I changed that there, I also want to change it in the other dialog. Header spiel node dialog. These places where I got joins. All right, 2 more. So this is text to text array, and pass in the dialog. Keeping it dry. And then this is text array to text. Okay. So those are benign changes that should not affect much of anything. but they just refactor the code so it's easier to maintain later. So otherwise, like you forget to do something in one bit of code, and then the code works inconsistently from one place to another. It's harder to find problems with it. Or you might want to improve the code, make it, you know, a little bit more better in some way, and then you gotta make that change to all the code in like 17 different places, and then yeah, that's not maintainable. It's not easily maintainable. Okay. All right, so I've got a dialog, something like this, and this is the new app. I was showing an old app that I was borrowing design from. I've already got some stuff up here. Add a line, add a general reply. I could do an add reply up here, and the idea would be like whatever you've got selected, if you say add reply up here, it's gonna put it underneath. I think I'll start with that before I do anything more complicated, because that is the easiest way to write this. So for that, I go to the Spiel pane, which covers one area of the screen. So we've got add line, add general reply. I'll just do add reply. Currently goes to nowhere. Okay, this is on the screen now. Doesn't do anything when I click on it, but that's what I'll fix next. Okay, just to open this up, I have to do a few things. Just thinking of the name, because there's two parts to this. One is there's one function that's going to open up the dialog, and there's another one that after you click the submit button, it's actually going to make the changes. So first I thought I'll call it add reply, but isn't that what I'm going to want to call the thing that happens when you click the submit button, the function that gets called then? So I'll call it open dialog to add reply, and that function is not defined yet, but it soon will be. So inside of my interactions, these are all the files that correspond to what happens when you click on things on this screen. We've got edit interactions. So we say export function, what I just typed in. Ooh, look at Feisty Copilot. Let's just see what it actually suggested. Not bad, not bad. Like, it doesn't slow me down. It's not quite correct though. In fact, it's not really correct at all. But I appreciate a confident guess. Something about somebody that tries, even if it's a robot, always makes me happy. Open dialog to add reply. I want the spiel. I want the node number. I want not set revision. I don't have to set revision yet. That's what I do after I have the data that I know needs to change. Set modal dialog I do need. That's going to allow me to open up the dialog. Update revision for spiel, inappropriate. Yeah, so I'm essentially ignoring Copilot at this point because it has no idea what I'm doing. It's like when Google Maps starts giving you directions and it's clear it doesn't know where you are, and you just have to ignore the directions it gives you for a little bit. So this is not edit spiel node dialog, it's edit reply dialog that will open. Okay. And then I need to add a new reply to a node. Let's do that next. Spiel. Does make me think about my design a little bit. I think what makes more sense is I just create an empty, instead of modifying the spiel now, which is kind of a source of truth, let's just create a detached reply that is not used for anything other than initializing the dialog. And let's start from there. Equals new spiel reply. And then it needs some things. What's the bare minimum it needs? It needs matching criteria, and that's, I'll make that empty. And then it needs like an empty line. And I think I've got them in the wrong order. Here, let's get my imports. So I'll get a little help from Rider, JetBrains Rider. No, don't create anything. Just go grab spiel reply. Okay, that doesn't seem to be needed. Take that out. So it feels like I've got that may be wrong. I'll fix it in a moment. Okay, const line equals new spiel line, and that's pretty good. That may work. Okay, emotion neutral, need to import that, but it's emotion as spiel emotion. Okay. Okay, what are you actually expecting me to pass here? I just wrote some code for this. I'll go back and look at that. Okay, so character dialog array spiel emotion. Okay, this is probably another example of Copilot not actually providing something useful. I thought it might be useful. Now I have my doubts. So the character can come from the spiel default character. The dialogue. What would expect? Dialogue array. Let's just do empty. Okay. Then the reply. I think I got these reversed. I think it's line. Boom, like that. All right. So then. Dang it. Okay. I'm seeing a problem with this logic. This doesn't actually belong here. Sorry for all that machination. This is actually pretty simple. It's just opening the dialog. Let's have mobile dialog, and then let's import this, and we'll be done here, and I'll have to write code like I just wrote elsewhere. get rid of all this. I'm also thinking I'm going to have a separate add reply dialog, or yeah, separate. Or no, because there's going to be so much shared between the two. Okay, spiel screen. I wish I could be more usefully decisive at times. Like, if the first thought that came out of my head was the right one, I could just say it and that would be the correct thing to do. But sometimes, particularly when I'm on a stream, I just vacillate back and forth between compelling options. Okay, so then I decided I'll do an edit reply dialog, but it needs to have two modes to it. It needs to have a mode where you're either adding or editing. What if the original reply, if it's passed in as null, that means that we should treat this as a brand new reply. I kind of like that. I can also say is new reply equals, whoops, not here, down below. Right here, I can say is new reply equals, well done. Well done. Copilot, well done. That's what I was going to type. Okay, so then here I can say is new reply. And we'll say add reply versus edit reply. And that will give a few more cues to the user about what the heck they're doing. Okay, then I also need to figure out how to initialize when there is no original reply. So we say if original reply, then we'll set up all the state variables this way. Otherwise, you gotta set them up differently. And that means we might need a default character, pass them properties. Default character string. Okay. Then here we'd say default character. Dialog can just be an empty string. Emotion can be, so is this, yeah, okay. Emotion, neutral. Okay. Since I included default character here, I also have to put it down in the dependencies for the use effect. Okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now that I've cleared the way for this dialog to not require a reply to be passed into it, that's going to make things easier. You know what? I can even make this simpler. I don't even have to have that one function. I can do set modal dialog. Edit reply dialog name. here, let's pass in set modal dialog function. And then here, pass in set modal dialog. Maybe it's better to follow the pattern I've already set. I have an onSelect node for edit callbacks. Those will get passed all the way up to the screen. So that's going to work out better because there'll be a better separation of concerns between this pane component and the parent screen component, which kind of serves as the logic that ties together things. Okay, so let's call it on add reply. And I think, do we want to pass the node? Yeah, let's do it. But it is not formatted correctly. It should be like this. The callback, so that will need to be passed in. And then the generate button definitions is going to pass in on add reply. And then that comes in right here. A lot of plumbing in React, you know. You got to add in props and pass them down, and there's ways to kind of make that go faster. But I tend to wait until the trade-offs are a little bit larger, and there's more benefit to doing things like using React context. Okay. On add reply function. Oh, disabled. There we go. Okay, so that sorts the pane. Yeah, so I should add a button, and the button should do something, but I have to pass in, it's just more plumbing, I have to pass in the function that adds the reply. So I go up to the screen, which is, if you're familiar with React terminology, container component, Spiel screen kind of follows that pattern. All these screens, they're like the top level container component that really takes all the callbacks and screen interactions and does things with them. I try to make the child components underneath more presentational. Okay, so here it's complaining because it needs that new on add reply, and then I can do no add Spiel reply, and then yeah, we'll take Vision Spiel node no. No, let's use that instead. Okay. I just don't need it yet. I don't need a function yet like that. So let's do it the simple way without adding one more let's see, edit function to call a function, you know. Okay, so that was pretty decent code completion there. Okay, let's clean this up. that enough to see it pop up? That'd be cool if it was. Compiles. Let's see, add reply. Not getting the dialogue there. Okay. So let me go back to the pane. Add reply. Yeah, see, this isn't doing anything. I need to actually call on add reply. Node, no. I think this doesn't need to have node no passed. It's add reply to selected node. Okay. That should probably do it. Okay. And then what? Since I keep changing the names of things, I need to go up to Spiel screen and fix that. On add reply to selected node. Do that. There we go. Now let's see if I get my new dialogue. What? I thought for sure that would be it. All right. What's up? What's up? On add reply to selected node. Passing that. Okay. Oh, I totally forgot to add a definition of this down here. Okay, so edit reply dialog. Yeah, that's good code completion. Nice job, Copilot. Original reply is not going to equal that. It's going to equal null. Yes, but let's do nothing with that information. Okay. Uncancel. Yep. It's just looking at my code above mostly. Now it is missing one thing. So nice try. You were helpful, but you forgot default character, and that's gonna come. Yeah. Almost. It comes from default character. Okay, now that's working. Right? So now is it going to show me the dialogue? No, not yet. Jesus, how many things do I have to remember to do? Okay, there's the edit reply dialog. This will get set. Let's check that the function that it passes down into the pane is correct. On add reply to selected node, we're going to say set mul dialog to name here. That looks completely right. Down in the pane. Got that prop coming in. It's destructured from the props. We generate the button definitions that go on top of the pane. These are in the correct order. Right thing is passed. Add reply has got on click handler. It calls on add reply to selected node. That all looks correct to me. So it's going to be some debugger work, I think. Maybe the first place to check is the components, the React components. This thing has not been working great for me. Maybe it'll do better today. Okay. So we got a screen container for the Spiel screen, Spiel pane. There's a question. Are you going to load? I hope you will. Yeah, this is what I've been getting for a while now. So I think this tool is only partially useful. It's not allowing me to see the properties that are passed to individual components like it used to. That's fine. There's other ways to do this. We just go through the debugger. And which one? This is Spiel screen. Let me see if I can set a breakpoint for this bit of code here and if it'll work. I can. Nice. Get a reply dialog. Doesn't look like it's in the context. Nope. Okay. But I'll just go in one. I'll check. Oh, maybe it'll go now. Nope. Okay. Oh, maybe my import's bad. But let's go into the okay. Arguments. Yeah. That's correct. Okay. So did I pass is open correctly? Is open. That's fine. Yeah. So it should be open. It's kind of strange. Let me see, is the code for... Is the code for the dialog getting called? Is it doing any kind of rendering at all? Okay, I'll set a breakpoint here. And let's try this. Nothing there. What about is open? Is open gets destructured here from props. Let's see, does it ever come to here? I can add a line. No, I can't add a line. Oh, okay. You know what? Let's back up a little bit. Let's reload this app. Come back into Spiels. Okay, there's my is open. Yeah, it's not open yet, so it's not open yet. Okay, cool. Does add line still work? No. Okay. Okay. So something's different. I regressed somewhere. Somewhere I regressed. Oh, add line never worked. Add reply. That's the one. Okay, but if I double click, I still get that. I still get that. It's just this does nothing. Does nothing. What did I screw up on? I made a mistake somewhere. So this is the import for that correct? This is one reason to alphabetize. Okay, that's new spiel dialog. That's edit reply dialog. Yeah. Did I export the default correctly? There it is. Export default edit reply dialog, and this is defined as a function in the expected way. Okay. Where is a more useful place to set a breakpoint? I think at the top of this, because what I want to see is, did it set modal dialog to equal the expected text? And if it did, then I could narrow it down from there. So on Spiel screen, set that there. Add reply. See, I'm not even getting a re-render. There should be a re-render. But if I do double click, yeah, there's my re-render. Okay. So that means I should be suspicious that set modal dialog is not being called, even though I thought I saw it getting called. And I can make it easier to see what's going on by putting this on its own line, like, what did you even just do? You know when you click a button and then suddenly the screen changes to some place that like you weren't even meaning to go? Okay. Okay, so I'll do that. And I just want to see, are you gonna call set modal dialog? Because down here, you call these functions, they've got set modal, or this one here has got set modal dialog inside of it, and it does code like that. So I want to see if this is getting called. That's going to be the most important thing. Hit play, and then we'll set the breakpoint fresh right here on this line. Just tell me, are you getting to that line? Add reply. You are? Oh, what a mystery. What a mystery. And here, the name. That's maybe unexpected. Let me see what else might be like that. Let me see. Can I get like new Spiel dialog name? This might just be a quirk of the it's just a quirk of the console immediate window entry point thing there. So I won't put too much into that. I know from stepping into this, it is going to set this name. It's just really strange that when I set another breakpoint here, and this use state setter gets called, the breakpoint here is not going to get, though no execution will come to here. Just like I predicted. So it sets this, And that should trigger a re-render, but I see no re-render. There's no re-render. That's not an easy word to say. Repeatedly. Yeah, I don't like when there's something that I've done a whole bunch of times. It's been very simple and it just stops working the way I expect. I know it's almost certainly going to be something stupid that I'm doing or got wrong in my syntax, but I still don't like it. So right here I have examples of, say, the modal dialog for other things. Yeah, this is another example. You know what it could be, though? It could be like some kind of this binding problem. Yeah. Okay. Tell you what. What I can do with this very confusing problem is just follow this exact same pattern of the other places where it worked, and then see if that changes anything. So here I said when you click on this, let's go ahead and call a different function someplace else, and it seemed to sort of like that worked. So I'll do a similar thing here. And if nothing else, it'll give me one more thing to look at. Open dialog to add reply, and then we'll pass in set modal dialog. Now just follow the pattern that worked before. I might learn something along the way. Okay, so I do have to implement this. And I don't even know where it thinks it's getting it from. It's not red squiggling on me. So what does that mean? Did I leave one in there? Let's go check it out. Open dialog to add reply. Edit interactions. I thought it was missing. Maybe it's not. Oh, okay. Cool. So it's there. I can definitely try it. Edit interactions. I want to see if you're called. Are you called? You are called. Okay. Still doesn't work. So try a few other things. Let's set a breakpoint here for the, no, not here. Edit spiel node. That's the one. Okay. Set a breakpoint here. Now I want to know if after that set modal gets called, if we get a re-render on the screen, which is the thing that wasn't working before and kind of seemed very suspect. Hit play. We do get a re-render for that, and that'll bring up the dialog. Okay, now the other one, which just looks almost identical, the way it's being called and everything. And it's got that same line of code that should do the same similar thing. What's the deal with that one? So then I say, you know, the execution gets here, and then go back to Spiel screen, and then just set the breakpoint again. See, will execution get there? Oh, now it gets there. Don't know what to think of that. Oh, I'm looking at the cause of the problem, perhaps. There's no revision. Is that true? There. Okay, hold on. Okay. Add reply. Go. Huh. So strange. So strange. What a strange bug. This drives me nuts. I've added so many of these dialogues. I've like about 10 of them at this point, and they all worked fine. And there's something about this one that's not working. Bothering the crap out of me, to be honest. I did see it come here, but yeah, I'm not. Okay, let's set the breakpoint further up. So this will definitely get called on every single render. So if I add reply here, no, you're not doing a re-render. Okay. Open dialog to add reply. I'm passing set modal dialog. Where am I at? I'm just in the main body of the rendering function. I've stepped through set modal dialog, and I know that it is actually changing the value. Why no re-render? If I call a use state setter, why would it not re-render? Like, one thing is, like, maybe... Okay, this could be a little complicated. Let me test a theory. My theory is that right now, set modal dialog is set to the name of the dialog I opened. So when I click on it again, it calls set. It does a set modal dialog for the same value, and there is no re-render. That's my new theory. Add reply. It's not doing any re-renders because maybe it's already called that. Yeah, I'm being a little bit inarticulate. So if I do this, then at that point, modal dialog is set. Oh, to edit reply dialog. When I double click on it like that? Okay, that must be the old value. Okay, now what is modal dialog? Same. Okay. Very strange. Okay. Here's what I'll do. Let's write a console log up at the top. And it's just going to say what just resetting all my state, come back into the screen fresh. Modal dialog is null. That's fine. Okay, then I say add reply. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So now I know that modal dialog is getting set to edit reply dialog. And that means it's likely that the is open logic is incorrect, or there's something that's just stopping it from being shown. So is open, this line is correct. If I go to edit reply dialog, well, let's fix the indentation. Okay, so what did I do? I said, oh, this is it right here. This is it. This is it. This is the culprit. Because I changed this so that it would accept original reply being null, that made it so that this earlier logic I had here was no longer correct. Okay, this should fix it. Okay, there's my add reply dialog. Let's pull it out so I can see what it looks like with the more nicely sized screen. Okay. Well, I can think of one thing I want to do here. I think I would like these labels to just match the text size of this. Okay. So I'm just taking a look at the font size, selector label 1 REM. So I'll just set these to be 1 REM. Coming up on the end of the stream here, I did finish the thing I set out to do. So I'll just add a few more refinements in the next 15 minutes or so. Validation text. What's that about? Text input. Okay. 1 REM. No, just leave that alone. Leave that alone. That's the wrong thing. This one. Font size 1 REM. And okay, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's better. Let's have the label. I kind of want the label to be a fixed width thing and the line value be different. Okay, so width, let's say 3 REM. Let's start with that. 5 REM. I don't know if I'm affecting anything. That was 70%. Let's take it out. Okay. Well, getting somewhere. Width. Let's go back down. I see background color just so I can see what's going on. I don't, yeah, no, something's off. Yeah, let's do something like this. Width, or min width, 60%. Yeah, that'll do it. And you know, this is at a weird screen width, like a more generous screen width. It starts to look right. If you squish it, then yeah, it'll double line this, but even that's not too bad. And you might lose the stuff here. I don't know. I'm just not going to sweat that too much right now. This isn't the right time to be getting every little CSS thing absolutely correct on these guys, because these dialogues are going to be changing around as I end up revising things. Okay, so here's where you'd say like, hi, hello, what's up, nah, greetings. Okay, and then Jerry would say, hey buddy. Hello. So these are like random variations. So you can say any of these things. All right. Now, but this is all going to disappear when I click update because I don't have a handler on the other side of it. It's just empty. Or, well, I guess even the dialog doesn't go away, so I had to cancel. Make sure I didn't regress. Yeah, this stuff looks fine. So I can edit the line. And then I can add replies. The replies are not yet saved to the data structure and they're not yet rendered underneath, but that will be coming. That will be coming. Yeah, so I'm kind of at a nice stopping point right here. And I think this is the right place to stop the stream. I'm very glad that I figured out that one stupid bug. Because it would have kept me up at night if I hadn't. Alright, so stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream.